NNPC commences loading of petrol from Dangote refinery. President Bola Tinubu returns to Abuja following official visit to China and short stay in the United Kingdom. Nigerian Air Force commences airlift of relief materials for flood victims in Maiduguri. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 3 on Nta News24. We are live in Abuja. I am Nta Daniels. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has commenced loading of petrol from Dangote refinery in the Ibeju-Lekki axis of Lagos. At the start of the process, 10 trucks drove into the gantries while their compartments were filled with the products from a computerized gadget equipped with 86 gantries, making it possible to load 86 trucks simultaneously. The development now serves as a boost for the NNPC in the quest to make petroleum products available across the Federation, while 40 gantries are dedicated for the discharge of petrol alone. Vice President of Dangote Industries Limited, Divakumar Edwin, said the refinery has the capacity to discharge 54 million liters of petrol per day, thereby saving the country foreign exchange. Our correspondent Michael Olale, who was at the refinery at Ibeju-Lekki as at the time of filing this report, says the number of trucks driving into the gantries keep increasing, with the NNPC projecting hundreds in the coming days. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will return to Abuja this Sunday following his official visit to China and his short stay in the United Kingdom. President Tinubu left Abuja for Belgium, China on 29th August. He started his official visit on Tuesday, September 2nd, with a meeting with President Xi Jinping in the Great Hall of the People. During the bilateral meeting with President Jinping, 5 memoranda of understanding were signed between Nigeria and China. Among the MOUs signed were the cooperation plan between Nigeria and China, which was to jointly promote the Belt and Road Initiative, cooperation in the peaceful application of nuclear energy, and strengthening cooperation and human resource development under the Global Development Initiative. Others were the Memorandum of Understanding on Media Exchange and Cooperation and the Memorandum of Understanding between China Media Group and the Nigerian Television Authority. Nigeria also signed a Memorandum of Understanding with China Harbour Engineering Company to build the 68-kilometer Lagos Green Rail Line, designed to run from the Lekki Free Zone to the Marina and connect with the Blue Line. A Memorandum of Understanding for the $1 billion iron ore to steel project planned for Kogi State was also signed between Chat and Capstone Integrated Limited of Nigeria and the Sinomarch He of China. The Nigerian Air Force has commenced airlift missions to transport relief materials to victims of the recent flood disaster affecting Maiduguri and its surrounding communities. A statement by Deputy Director of Public Relations and Information Group, Captain Kabiru Ali, indicates that the materials donated by the Nigerian Customs Service is aimed at alleviating the suffering caused by the floods, which have disrupted daily life, destroyed property, and displaced millions. The airlift missions, which had the first batch of the relief items, comprising 300 bags of 50 kg rice, was successfully delivered to NAF Base Maiduguri via the NAF C-130 Hercules aircraft for onward house-to-house distribution. Earlier, the NAF had launched a medical outreach program to support flood victims in addition to the feeding of over 2,000 internally displaced persons. The NAF's airlift mission and medical outreach are part of a broader effort to support national disaster response initiatives and highlight the critical role of military assets in humanitarian crises. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has directed that these operations continue as needed, ensuring that both relief materials and medical aid reach all the affected areas, as the NAF will persistently collaborate with other security agencies to mobilize human and material resources for the support of flood victims. The United Nations agencies say Nigeria needs urgent global support to address the humanitarian crisis resulting from the ravaging flood in Borno State. The World Food Programme and Food and Agriculture Organization estimates that $147.9 million will be required to provide food and non-food items to the flood-affected people in Maiduguri and other food-insecure people in the northeast for the next 6 months. Musa Baba Aliyu has details.
The breach of the Alau Dam in Maiduguri, Borno State brought about anguish, sorrow and uncertainty to the residents of the state. Floodwaters have taken over their houses, leaving them with no option but to move to safer ground. Some of them, mostly the elderly, women and children, were evacuated. Aisha Aliyu, a victim, says she found herself in a difficult situation.
It's very terrible, very terrible. I never pray for even my enemy to experience such a thing. For you to leave your home without any single thing, just with your own personal clothes, is not something to pray for anymore in your life.
More than 400,000 people who were displaced are being sheltered in night camps in Maiduguri. An air survey carried out by the United Nations World Food Programme showed that food, shelter and clean water are the immediate needs of the people.
You know, the flood has affected them, and they can't have access to their banks even. So what we decided to do is to give 10,000 naira to each of the heads of household, both male and female heads household. This is what we are doing. Then subsequently we'll distribute food and non-food items to all of them. So far so good. We have mobilized cooks, and they have started cooking food in this camp.
WFP established kitchen in 3 camps, providing meals to the displaced persons. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations said floods in the northeastern states of Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states have compounded the food security challenges in the northeast. United Nations organizations therefore appealed for more funding to support the ongoing humanitarian response, early recovery, including food and non-food items. Musa Baba Aliyu, Nta News.
Zamfara State Emergency Management Agency has confirmed the drowning of an unspecified number of persons in a boat mishap in Gumi town, headquarters of Gumi local government area of the state. Executive Secretary of the agency, Ambassador Balagusel, who confirmed the incident, said the victims, mostly women and children, were going to some nearby farms when the overloaded boat capsized. He, however, noticed that 12 persons, including the captain of the boat, have been so far rescued as a search for other missing passengers continue. In government efforts at crushing down costs of transportation nationwide is receiving a boost was the distribution of free compressed natural gas kits by the Presidential Initiative on Compressed Natural Gas to commercial motorists across the country. Lydia Sampson reports.
The Presidential Initiative on Compressed Natural Gas is fast-tracking the conversion of more commercial vehicles to CNG. This, Michael Oluwagbemi says, is the only way to deliver the President's desire to bequeath a cheaper, cleaner alternative to petrol to Nigerians. It is also expected to deepen the faith of more Nigerians on the revolutionary impact of CNG.
Any commercial motorist that comes here to enjoy the presidential CNG initiatives, conversion incentive program, they come in here with their vehicle and they live with it. It's 100% free, both the kits and the installation. Now that motorists have an obligation. You're enjoying a government palliative. You have an obligation to pass on that palliative to the people of Nigeria. You should not be charging the same transportation fare as your counterpart that is using petrol. And so we are working with the unions, we are working with NURTW, we are working with NATO, we are working with Ritian, we are working with the Painter Taxi Association of Nigeria. And all of these vehicles also, as they are being converted, will be labeled. So you, the consumers yourself, will be informed that this vehicle is running on, at least partially on CNG. And therefore, you should not expect the same level of transportation cost on that vehicle if it's running partially on CNG.
In this renewed initiative, 50 kits per center across 18 centers in the country are to be distributed on first-come, first-served basis with proper identity and evidence of car registration for commercial purposes. The arrival of the kits to the designated centers is the dawn of a new era for deepening CNG, as acknowledged by these CNG users.
If this one be easy, it's better for me. How can I manage the price of petrol? This one is easy.
So the cost of the transport will be reduced drastically through the CNG.
He says conversion centers are growing in number, as 130 conversion centers are functional across the country, with 120 more in the offing following collaboration with the private sector. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, Nta News.
Muslims all over the world mark Eid al-Maulud to commemorate the birth of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him. But not many understand the significance and why Muslims celebrate the day. So let's join Tokwe Alabi in this report as he tells us what distinguishes the day, which corresponds to Sunday, 15th September this year.
The Quran emphasizes on one's duty to parents, and regardless of their faith, and duties to neighbors, relatives, sick people, the old and victims of natural disasters, the minority groups, and to promote what is good and prevent what is wrong. No individual's honor should be injured, and neither should a person be harmed. Prophet Muhammad is reported as saying, "A man is not a believer who fills his stomach while his neighbor is hungry." All these virtues are exemplified by the life of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and in a nutshell, he lived the message as the Islamic society he built was acclaimed for its justice and equity.
We do sadaqah with the little one we have. We don't need to have everything. Whatever you have, give to the needy.
So that you can carry along the less privileged. So, discipline, endurance, and empathy for humanity.
It was said that at its peak, a woman could carry a load of gold on her head and travel from Medina to Mecca, a distance of 300 miles plus, without being harassed. This is the man who is being remembered today. But it is heart-rending to note that all these virtues that this great prophet epitomized are in great deficit in many places. Today, corruption is rampant, promoted by the greed and dishonesty of the elite. The followership is disillusioned and angry by the lack of progress and development. Patriotism is therefore less of a priority to many as they eke out a living by all means, fair or foul.
The Quran said, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. I have not sent you except mercy for the whole mankind. It's not only for Muslims, Prophets come to guide people to God.
We should see ourselves as a single body, various parts of which must contribute for the well-being of that body.
Stop complaining. Do something for yourself, and government does not need to do everything, but somebody has to do something to be able to stay afloat.
We need to all put our hands on deck to be able to alleviate what is going on, particularly the poverty and the lack of ability to feed.
Eid al-Maulud is generally not a time for merrymaking, but a period for sober reflection and devotion.
And for Muslims, it is to continue to uphold the ideals of steadfastness, honesty, justice, and forbearance as epitomized by Prophet Muhammad. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, Nta News.
This is the news desk at 3 on Nta News24. Let's take a short break now. More reports when we return.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the breathtaking scenery of the plateau, in noonday and nighttime, we set out to bring to you captivating stories that evoke your emotions. For fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, tune in to Nta News24, DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 26, StarTimes channel 101 and 433, and Free TV channel 703.
Thanks for joining us again. The federal government is set to deploy e-borders to ease air travel in the country. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo gave the indication in Abuja at the end of a two-day training on advanced passenger information and passenger name record, API and PNR for select personnel of the Nigerian Immigration Service. Victor Azu reports.
Brick by brick, Nigeria's e-borders are getting set for service.
Giving us these equipment.
This capacity building on use of the advanced passenger information and passenger name record, API PNR, one of the last stages ahead of deployment, is for officers of the Nigeria Immigration Service that will operate the technological solution. Suweba Ibrahim Aliyu is one of the 100 beneficiaries.
Most importantly, it is making the work easier for us to prepare ahead of time and to secure the borders more proactively.
It's much more than that, says Comptroller General of Immigration, Kemi Nandap, and facilitators of the training, International Air Transport Association, IATA. It gives Nigeria a better global standing.
Not only are we in compliance with international best practices, but our borders are better monitored.
A state who is participating at this data exchange upfront knows who is showing up at its borders and take a decision in order to grant access or not grant access.
And for the Minister of Interior, the occasion calls for special tribute to his aviation and aerospace counterpart, Festus Keyamo.
For 14 years, what stalled this was infighting, aviation, interior. But here we came on board and we understood the fact that the key is for Nigeria to be the winner.
The electronic border solution affords Nigeria the privilege of receiving passengers' digital travel credentials ahead of time. In Abuja, Victor Azu, Nta News.
And 44 local government chairmen of Kano State have approached the court to restrain the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC, and other law enforcement agencies from probing their activities. Hadiza Mohammed Ali was present in the court and files a report on the proceedings.
Contentious issues between the Association of Local Government Chairmen and the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission. The association claims that despite a court-granted injunction restraining the ICPC and other law enforcement agencies from taking action in their activities, the ICPC allegedly violated the order by inviting a local government chairman for questioning. The legal practitioner representing the Association of Local Government Chairmen, Algon, alleged that the Kano State Public Complaint Commission violated the court order by serving an invitation letter to one of their clients.
So we filed from 48 to initiate contempt proceedings against these two commissions. It was served on them, and then we filed another application, which is an application to prohibit them from participating in the matter until they comply with the order of the court.
However, the ICPC has denied these allegations, clarifying that the agency only invited Abdullahi Aliyu Dederi, a former caretaker chairman of Garai local government, who was stripped of his position by Supreme Court on 11th July 2024.
Next line of action now, we are now waiting for the matter to be reassigned
to the judge, who is not a vacation judge, so that we'll go there and argue the contempt proceedings, which Abdullahi Aliyu Dederi is claiming that we have disobeyed the court, the order of this court.
The ICPC maintains that the agency's actions are in line with the law and court's ruling. As of the time of filing this report, no date has been scheduled for the next hearing. However, NTA News will continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. In Kano, Hadiza Mohamed Ali, NTA News.
An independent assessment of the measures taken by the military in curbing pipeline vandalism and oil theft following the presidential directive indicates that the nation's economy is set for prosperity. A non-governmental organization with special interest in security, Ayudante's Empowerment Initiative, after a visit to the Niger Delta, confirms that there is an improvement in crude oil production, and the federal government target of from 1.35 million barrels per day to 2.2 million barrels by December 2024 is achievable. Also, recent OPEC reports say there is an increment in oil production in Algeria, and the group attributes it to ongoing military operations across the Niger Delta.
Theft is reduced to the barest minimum. The synergy of the different forces, it has never been like this. I want to commend the CDS, how he has harmonized all arms of the armed forces.
The Independent Monitor Group therefore appeals to residents of the oil-producing areas to support the military in this operation, which will positively affect the economy. The federal government is engaging stakeholders in the Southeast geopolitical zone to foster the way forward in the fight against crime and insecurity. The workshop holding in Enugu is focusing on the development of modern strategies to sustain the current gains made by security agencies in the zone. Let's join Chika Ugu for the report.
The Southeast region has over the years been confronted with separatist agitations and imposition of seats at home, which has paralyzed socio-economic activities and impoverished the people. The desire to raise public awareness and address these challenges necessitated the stakeholders' engagement for the region by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
There is the need, therefore, for concerted effort to address the menace. As part of the efforts of the federal government to raise public awareness, my office is organizing this two-day stakeholders engagement for the Southeast geopolitical zone to provide a forum for exchange of ideas to address the challenges associated with the operations of non-state community-based security outfits in the zone, to sensitize communities in the zone on how they can play a complementary role in fighting insecurity and other vices.
The Enugu state government says it is working assiduously with security agencies in the state to promote security with the institution of a distress response squad, as well as the installation of CCTV network surveillance of the states.
There is no doubt that a platform for periodic meetings of vigilante groups or heads of town unions or Igwes in the Southeast will help forge a seamless synergy and enhance our strategy for security.
It is hoped that at the end of the workshop, participants will come up with a workable framework to support security personnel in bringing the menace of insecurity in the geopolitical zone to an end. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 3 on Nta News24. Here is a recap of our top stories. NNPC commences loading of petrol from Dangote refinery. President Tinubu returns to Abuja following official visit to China and short stay in United Kingdom. Nigerian Air Force commences airlift of relief materials for flood victims in Maiduguri. And that's the news desk at 3 on Nta News 24. Thank you for watching. I am Nta News.